Welcome to Soul Infused Monday today, July 2nd. I can't believe it's already July. So, today's topic is how to remove toxic energy in people from your life. And I know it always takes a moment, so if you're here live seeing me, as always, send me a comment, write me a comment, let me know you hear me, you see me. Hi, Emily, your live is fantastic. Ah, that's so beautiful. Oh, wonderful. So yes, let me know where you're watching from, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions towards the end. And I always say this is such a unique opportunity for you to get some personalized coaching or answers to some of your most burning questions, so use it. It's all about energy. It's all about how to remove toxic energy from your life and people. And if you are new to this show, my name is Sonia Bueno de la Torre. I'm a self-love and energy coach, and I'm an expert when it comes to energy, shifting your energy. I've been doing energy work for 20 years, and I'm super excited to help you to shift your energy. So who else is here? Hi, beautiful Bahamas. Wow, well, fantastic. Someone is watching from the Bahamas. Hi, Ida. Who else is here? Alyssa. Yes, I know, Alyssa. This topic is just perfect for you. Love it. Okay, fantastic. So let me jump in right away. Why I chose that topic is that I was speaking to a client a couple of days ago, and she asked me, she was struggling with someone, and Alyssa, you will maybe resonate with that as well. She has a friend that she has for a long time, and this client of mine, she's done a lot of work. She's transformed a lot in her life. She wants to be more mindful, more kindness. She has a certain approach to life that she wants to cultivate, and she met this friend, and she took out another friend. They went to a lake together, and so they were in a bikini bathing suit, and there was apparently a really tall woman, like a really tall woman. She's in Europe, so it was 190, like I don't know how much feet this is, but a really tall woman. And her friend next to her says, "Oh my God, look how tall this person is." In a way, a little bit judgmental. And my friend felt a little bit uncomfortable, but she didn't say anything. So they kept walking, and then they lay down, and then they saw another woman coming out of the lake, and she was severely thin. Maybe she was anorexic. And then again, this other woman says, "Oh my God, look, this is so thin." So my point in sharing this with you, my friend asked me, "Sonia, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't really know what to say and how to say it. And I'm thinking of maybe these are not the people anymore that I want to surround myself with. What would you do? Like, what's your opinion on this?" And then someone else asked me about what is toxic energy. So I brought this into the topic for today because I think it's an important one. And I'm going to share some of the things that I shared with my client that helped her in dealing with this situation in an empowered way. So, and if you're just jumping in, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you hear and see me clear, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions later on. And send me some love. I always love love. So I want to start by sharing what is toxic energy. I don't use this word very much, but it has been coming for me for people using that word. So I wanted to use that. I'm going to share what is toxic energy. What does that actually mean? Toxic people. And then I'm going to give you 5 steps so that you can get started to remove that from your life. Okay. Sound good so far? You excited about this? Okay, good. And hi, Juan. Nice seeing you today, too. What is toxic energy? So when it comes to energy, I generally don't like to label it good or bad, because energy is energy. Energy has an effect, has a frequency, has an impact, and creates a certain frequency. However, to make it easier for our mind to understand, hi, Tina, what we mean by that, I would say, instead of saying toxic, tune into what does make me feel good, what is not making me feel good, and what do I want to surround myself with that is in my best interest and for my highest good and for my well-being. And Let's use that word toxic energy for a moment. Here are a few examples what you might consider toxic. And a good idea would be, if you have a certain idea about what toxic means to you, leave me a comment, because therefore I can speak into you as well. Low vibe, high vibe, yeah, low frequency, light frequency, vibrational. So what's toxic, for example? And it's not only people, it's energy. Everything is energy. Everything that surrounds you creates a certain effect. For example, toxic can be it's internal and external. Internal is your own dialogue. For example, you judging yourself, unforgiveness, resentfulness, bitterness, anything that's internal can be toxic for yourself. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to only focus, oh, it's the outside, the people are toxic. It's what are you doing within yourself that creates toxicity within yourself. So that's one area, inside, internal. External could be certain people that make you feel a certain way or carry a certain frequency that it's not healthy or beneficial for you. That could be, for example, just to make a few examples, and please give me your examples, because then I can talk more into and support you a little bit more specific. Could be, for example, someone that is very negative, always focused on the bad, or is very filled with scarcity, always fearful. That energy is not very supportive, it's not very healthy, or doesn't feel good. Could be an abusive person, a judgmental person, that has that energy of judging, controlling. It could be something in the outside that's not even related to people. It could be anything you hear, you listen to, any words you read, any pictures you see can be toxic. For example, the news. If you watch the news every day, you surround yourself with toxic energy every day. Why? Because the news only focus on the bad stuff out there and never on the good stuff. So toxic energy comes in different forms, and it's not only related to a person. And at the same time, again, I personally would not necessarily say it's toxic, because then it means something on the outside is basically responsible for how you feel. And ultimately, it's your response and how you deal with certain energies that come your way that makes a difference. So it's about you being empowered versus you being the victim of something from the outside. Okay, does that make sense so far, guys? Let me know if this is resonating with you, if this makes sense, okay? I don't see any comments, so there's always a delay, but let me know. Okay, so Emily says yes. Okay, thank you. Just want to see that you're there, because sometimes, if I don't see activity, I don't know what's going on. So, and I love to connect and interact with you as well. Okay, Heather says yes, makes sense. Okay, fantastic. So let's see the steps that you can take to start changing that, if that's what you want, okay? Here's step number one. Step number one is take responsibility. What do I mean by that? So no matter what happened in the past, no matter what's going on here, no matter what's going on the outside, you are the creator of your reality. So the outside is a reflection from the inside. So there might be toxic people in your life that are not good for you. And yet now you want to take responsibility that you are the one in charge that's going to make a change. So the number one thing, hi Brenda, the number one thing is that you take responsibility for your own environment and for your own energy, even though you might not know yet how, right? And when a client was talking to me and I said, one of the things that you do first of all, because she was judging her friend for judging this other woman. So I said, okay, first of all, take inventory and realize that you are judging someone for judging someone. So it's the same pattern. By you realizing that and you taking responsibility, you can take it deeper and say, okay, Why are you judging it? It's because it hurt her to hear that about another woman, because she would feel hurt if someone would say that to her. And it was also painful for her because she wants to be more loving and kind. Makes sense. So in a sense, first for her to take responsibility and get away from judging that person or seeing that person as doing something wrong helped her to get a different perspective. Hope that makes sense. So taking responsibility is the very first step, because when you don't take responsibility first and you don't see that what your life is created out of your choices consciously and mainly unconsciously. Otherwise, you cannot move forward. Okay, great. Number one, take responsibility. Oh my, I judging all the time. Yeah, Heather, I hear you. Yeah, we are all the same. Don't feel bad about it. It's about awareness. It's about, seeing that we are all the same on certain level. So if I want to be kind and loving and someone isn't, and I judge that person, in that moment, I'm not kind and loving either. However, that's normal. It's about awareness. It's not about judging yourself either. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, number two. So first, take responsibility. Number two, super important. And you want to actually make a little exercise and write this down. Get very clear on what you want to surround yourself with and with whom. Like if you're surrounded by so-called toxic people, toxic energy, people that don't support you or that you don't feel good with or you resent, whatever that means to you. Give me some examples, that would be helpful. Get clear on the people you want to be surrounded with. And here, I give you a good example. A lot of people come to me and want my help, and I often ask them first, what is it that you want? And most people cannot answer that question. Everybody is very quickly, and it's easy to respond what we don't want. When you are not clear what it is that you want to be surrounded with, it's basically nearly impossible to create it. I give you an example that I use often, but I think it's such a good metaphor. Imagine you go to the airport. You go to the counter and this woman looks at you and says, how can I help you? And you say to that woman, I want to get out of here. Give me a plane ticket somewhere. And she says, okay, so where do you want to go? And you say, I don't know where I want to go. I just don't want to be here because I don't like it here. I want to get away from here, but this is not what I like. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't like this here. I want to get away. Okay, so, okay, what is it? Where do you want to go? Well, I don't know. Do you see that it's difficult for that person to give you the ticket so that you can get where you want to go because she doesn't know? So as long as you don't know, you are not going to get the right ticket. Does it make sense? Makes sense, right? So become very clear on what type of people or what environment you want that is supportive, that it's uplifting, that is nurturing, that is what makes you feel good, okay? So become clear. And if you need help with that, because most people, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. I do this day in, day out. I help women and men all over the world to become clear what it is that they really want and then help them to get a way to create that in their lives. So take responsibility, get clear on how that looks like, what you want to have. And then number 3, and that's a very good question. It's again about taking responsibility and inventory. Ask yourself the question, who do I get to be? Or who do I get to become to create this environment? Maybe you get to be more confident. Maybe you get to speak up more. Maybe you get to set boundaries. Maybe you get to be stronger. Maybe you get to be more open. Maybe you get to research. Ask yourself, who am I to be? Like, who do I get to be to create this? And what do I need? And what's missing? Okay? So become clear around that. And then step number 4, and this is a practical step because I know everybody likes something practical. Take a pen and a piece of paper and write down and make a list, but do it not only in your mind. Make it physical, visual, not physical, visual. Write a list of people that could support you or are supportive in your life. And if you say, well, Sonia, I don't have anyone, that's okay. You don't even need to find or know these people personally or in person. Start with anything that's uplifting you. A podcast, a mentor, a coach, the Soul Infused Monday show, something that you can listen and be surrounded with until you create it in your own life. However, I would bet with you that there's at least one person you know that is supportive. So make that list. Make that list, write anyone down that comes to mind, that you know personally or that you don't know personally. Write them down, bing, 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 bing. And if you have any questions so far, please let me know. Okay, so make that list, have it in written form, have it visual, you can add to it. And then step number 5, super important. Every day you look at that list and you make sure that you connect or that you listen or you just spend time with or you watch one of these people on your list to get started to create more uplifting, positive, nurturing, supportive energy in your life. Okay. And so that you focus on bringing in what you want and not so much on removing what you don't like. Even though the title was How to Remove Toxic Energy is because that's the question that I got. And yes, I reverse it a little bit so that you focus on actually what is on the other side. Okay, guys, let me know if you have any questions around the toxic energy, around how to, about the steps. I'm here for a few more minutes and happy to help you in any way I can. And if you feel like you want additional support, go and apply for a call with me. Every month I have a few sessions that I give for free consultation where I can help you get more clarity too. And you just go on that link, it's somewhere, helpmesonia.com. Okay. And if you don't have any questions and if you don't have any comments, let me see. I just want to make sure I can see them. You are inspired us every second. You inspire us. Thank you, Mahi. I appreciate that. Okay. And yeah, let me know what are you getting out from here? Like, what's your biggest aha? And let me say something else about toxic energy. The more you work on yourself, the more you peel off the layers that are preventing you from seeing yourself, from being caught up in beliefs and traumas and fears, the less you have the capacity to build that surrounding around you. The more you peel off, the more you become more of who you are, the more confident you are, the more you speak up, the more you know actually how to do that energetically, because knowing is one thing. Because most of what I said is not rocket science. You know this. It's not good for you to be surrounded by toxic energy, internal and external. So knowing about it alone is not doing the trick. To learn how to do it energetically, and that's where I come in. That's what I help you with, so that you can really shift the energy. Okay, let me see. A few comments are coming in, so I want to make sure. Okay, I want a good relationship with my brother, but he always insults me. So what do I do to make it better? That's a great question, Heather. As I don't have enough information, I will give you an overall answer. And please feel free to connect with me personally. I'm happy to help you to get a better relationship with your brother in more detail. When someone insults you, you usually get triggered. So you're busy with your own stuff. And that's therefore sometimes a little bit more difficult to stay open. One thing that I would recommend is that you are honest in sharing that with him. And saying, hey, whatever your brother's name is, when I share this with you and you insult me or you make fun of it, that actually hurts. It's uncomfortable for me. And I wanted to ask you if you would be open not to do that, because I do want to connect with you. Something that shares vulnerable without judging or blaming. And that's the skill that is so important. Often when I share that, I say, yeah, but I said that. But the energy often comes from hurt, blaming, and insulting. So first of all, feel your hurt, take responsibility how you feel, and then go into honest communication and ask for what you need. Is this helpful, Heather? And if you need more help, definitely reach out to me, but let me know if that was helpful. This is great, Sonia. Thank you. Kelly, hi. Yeah, fantastic. Happy to have you here. How can we overcome with toxic energy up to last? I do not understand the question, Mahi. So if you can be more specific, how can we overcome with toxic energy up to last? I'm not sure what you mean. So please clarify that. Alyssa. I have a friend who always talks about spirituality and says she's awakened. However, she wants perfection and has very strong judgmental energy. Is this toxic? It doesn't feel good. Yeah, great question, Alyssa. First of all, it's not necessarily only about a judgment if they're toxic or not. Does it feel good to you? Is it beneficial for you? And this is also a bigger topic, so I might not talk into all of it, but I know I'm going to have a conversation with you soon anyway, so I'm happy to support you in that too. But when someone always says something like, oh, I am awakened, I'm spiritual, I'm healed, someone who has the need to say that all the time usually is in denial. And I'm not making a judgment out of it. I'm just saying that because I've been there myself. If you are truly awakened, if you know who you are and you're on the path to healing, you don't have the need to say this all the time. Why would you say that all the time? So first of all, to see that there's a part in denial that does not want to go deeper, does not want to see that there might be something going on for her. So therefore, you can come from a different perspective, saying you have compassion for it, and then you also ask yourself, how important is this relationship to me? And this is a good question for everyone. If you have someone in your life who you feel is toxic or might be toxic, you want to ask yourself, how important is this relationship to me? Do I want to make it work or not? And then you get to go into a communication that comes out of honesty and share from a vulnerable place what you want in order to maybe create a next level of that friendship. For example, very honest, it's like, hey, every time you say that, it hurts me because I feel you kind of cut me off. And I know, it's mine. And yet I also feel that there's something in there for you. And I would like to have a mutual relationship, a more mutual connection, or whatever your truth is. I'm just coming up with stuff, right? And then without judgment and blame, and then to see if the relationship can grow into a next level. And at some point, you get to make a decision. It's like, do I want to be with this person who keeps insulting me, or keeps, or is not supportive into my growth, for my growth? And if she has been you for a long time, then maybe it's also time to say goodbye to some of the relationships. One of the things is that you really get to decide. You get to decide. And then you get to work on those sadness and feelings of not wanting to let go. Does that make sense? Let me know if this makes sense. And if it's helpful. Thanks. Yes, must truly take responsibility for yourself. Yeah, responsibility for yourself is absolutely necessary. Totally. Yeah. And the awareness of judging those who judge. That's a great revelation. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I remember the first time, that's many, many years ago. I remember I was so in judgment about someone because she was so negative. She was so judgmental. She was so mean. And when I realized, wow, I'm just doing the same thing on a different level, that was a huge aha moment for me. So I'm happy that this was a great aha moment for you. Heather says, yes, thanks. You're welcome, Heather. Juan, how do you cleanse a space using stones or crystals? Great question. So I don't use stones or crystals, so I'm not the right person to ask. That's my answer. I work energetically in a different way, and I don't use stones and crystals. So another way to clear your space if you don't have stones and crystals is that you clear your own space first. That you have that you clean your energy. And I don't have time, or I'm overdoing it already, but you know what, Juan, I'm going to take that question and I'm happy to do another video around that. And I do have a short video, like an energy boost video, where it also does cleansing on your field. So I will leave the link here as well. But here's my honest question, my honest answer. I don't use stones and crystals, so I'm not an expert in that. Okay, what else? Kelly, how do you deal with family situations where people judge you harshly? Yeah, good question. Who can relate to that? I mean, who can relate to that? So many people. I think I spoke into some of it already. And again, Kelly, if you need a little bit more specific clarification or support, reach out to me. So here's a very simple answer, even though it's not an easy way. If you have someone who's judging you all the time harshly, and you don't manage to create something different, you just avoid that person. I mean, I'm telling you what, my life, I'm very clear, life is precious, my time is precious, my well-being is precious. Like, it's important that I feel good, that I'm surrounded by good energy. And if someone would judge me all the time harshly, I would choose not to spend time with them. It doesn't matter if it's a family member or not. That's my opinion. That have to be yours. However, I hear also that maybe you get to learn to set stronger boundaries and to stand up for yourself more. This is a big one. It's about who are you standing, because if someone judges you harshly a lot, it's because they are able to do so because you allow it to a certain extent. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad or anything. It's really about looking deeper, like what's the energy that is allowing that still in, and how can you set a stronger boundary to say, hey, listen, this doesn't work for me. I don't appreciate that. I don't want that energy. And if you want to still spend time with me, you get to change that. And you give them a choice. I'm very clear on that. I don't know if this is helpful. And it took me a long time to get there. And I'm happy to support you individually, Kelly, as well. Empowerment in our choices. Yes. Helpful. Okay. That was very helpful, Sonia. You are my angel. Thank you, Lisa. So happy to hear that. I love you. Tine, very helpful with the list, and focus on what you bring in. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Kelly, I don't spend time with them, but do have a family get together coming up. Okay, great. Okay, that's great. So if you don't spend time with them and you have a family gathering soon, you can prepare yourself. It's really about you. It's not so much about them. Focus on how you are dealing with it, how you are reacting, how is your energy, what are you doing versus them, because that's how you give your power away. I hope that is helpful. I don't, okay, yes, stand up. Okay, it is from the insecurity, it's not really about me. Yes, it is never really about you. For any of us, however, how you deal with it is important, because even though we know, that come from insecurity, it's still hurtful. It might still disrupt your energy. So you still get to be empowered, set boundaries, and learn how to deal with your energy, because even if you understand, it will still hurt you at times. However, it's very precious what you just said, because that helps versus just being totally reactive. So great point. Thank you. And I'm taking a little longer today, but it's just because questions are coming in. Boundaries are so important. Yes, this is very helpful. Yes, how I respond or not. Yes. Okay, super. Fantastic. I don't see any more questions. Usually I try to keep this 20 minutes, but if you have questions, I'm always happy to be here with you. And please stay here for another 30 seconds. Super, super, super important. If you have not heard it yet, from next Monday on, July 9th, I'm going to do a soul infused summer training, meaning every day from Monday to Friday, from July 9th to July 20th, I will be live for Soul Infused Summer. And it is a different time. Super, super important. So next Monday on the 9th, and then the following Monday, it will be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time, not at 12 p.m. Super important. Mark it in your calendar. The Soul Infused Summer is, I'm going to give you so much of my good stuff about my signature program of what I do with my clients for free, Monday to Friday, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's 8 a.m. Pacific time. So put in your calendar next Monday, 11 a.m., not 12 p.m. Okay. To give more context, there are some places that I'm just reading my knowledge. Okay. So I hope I see you Monday. No, just come Monday, and you have one more extra. Thank you for explaining. To give more context, there are some places that when you enter them, your energy is automatically drained. How do I protect my energy? Great question. Similar answer, however, yeah. It's all, how do you protect yourself from it? Well, it depends on what is draining your energy and how. And again, instead of focusing on something on the outside is draining my energy, how am I protecting myself? One of the things that you can do is that you keep really centered and you bring your energy in. Usually our energy gets drained when we are outside of ourselves, when our energy is all over the place. So one great thing to do, Juan, is when you know you go to a place that you feel already that your energy might be drained, is that you use your breath and you bring your energy back in. And it sounds easier said than done, but to give you an idea. So you bring your energy back in, you center yourself, you go to the core, and then you breathe out and you imagine a ring pass knot, an energy boundary where you contain your energy so that things don't go out or in so easily. And then find out what's draining your energy, because you can protect yourself with it. So, and I'm happy to answer that more in detail also when we speak next time. Okay, another question. Whoa, what's going on here? Alisa saying, yippee for Soul Infused Summer. Okay, yes, me too. Super excited. Soul Infused Summer Monday. Put it in your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone, everything. How to control anger before pre-menses. Not sure either what that question is. I do not understand the question. How to control anger before pre-menses. Okay. Looking forward to Soul Infused Summer. Thanks for letting us know about the new time. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to finish up here. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a fantastic week. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, I will get back to them later. Send me a message. And if I wasn't clear about the question, just send me a clarification. And I'll see you Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time next Monday for Soul Infused Summer. Okay, love you guys. Much love, and I see you soon. Oops, am I